Alright, let's put the show on the road. Can everyone hear me? Well, I can hear myself, so I guess I'll take that as a yes. Alrighty then, soon starting up is going to be Hard at 2, and if I have enough time I'll do Dame the Limelight 1. Hard at 2 was a bit of a pain to set up due to the forced full screen mode, and it caused some weird problems. For example, the intro music is going to be broken, so I'll have to re-record that part, or edit in the actual correct music. So that's good. Alright, let's cross our fingers and hope nothing horribly breaks. And as this is, And as this is hard at 2, I will not be able to see your chat until I take breaks every so often because of full screen and whatnot. And welcome to stream Jedok, YouTube, Daibuman, Metal General, Game Idea Guy, and Jaden, and all the lurkers. Don't worry, I have multiple fallbacks. Alright, crossing our fingers, I'm starting it now. Everything was going well in Wily City. Gas prices were high, people were terrified. And best of all, Dr. Wily was in charge. Sadly, the music's broken. His statues were all over the city and people bowed to him. Life could not be better. But one night when Dr. Wily was busy planning to take over Europe, he receives a message from a scout robot that says, "The city's under attack, Dr. Wily." Shortly after the message, Dr. Wily gets his own transmission. It reads, "Dr. Wily, this is Mr. X. I am taking over your city." Dr. Wily becomes confused. I pretended to be Mr. X in Mega Man 6. Knowing that his city will be destroyed if he doesn't do something, he dispatches Harda to defeat the quote-unquote Mr. X and reclaim his city. Greetings everyone, my name is Ettervel, and I welcome you all to my blind live let's play of Harda 2 War Ensemble, a Mega Man Classic fan game that stars a hard hat, which is developed by Damaged Games. The sequel to the original Hard Hat 1, it improves upon the design in several fashions. Before I begin though, let me reconfigure my gamepad in case something else goes wrong. Getting this set up was a bit of a pain due to various reasons. So let me check up on chat and then I'll begin. The only downside I see so far are the longer loading times. The only downside I see so far is the longer loading times for whatever reason. I'll play this game on normal difficulty, just in case, so I can actually complete it on stream. I'm worried how difficult it's going to be. So here's our 8 Roadmasters. Samurai Man, Smoke Man, Wire Man, Acid Man, Baseball Man, Blaze Man, Chainsaw Man, and Tornado Man. Who should I go after first? Please pick my destiny. Samurai Man it is. Then I'll go after Smoke Man next. There's supposed to be some music playing there, but it broke. Let's hope Let's hope that the music not playing is going to be a common trend. Oh no. Well, hold on a minute. That's what I was worried about. One of the downsides with this game right now is that the music can randomly break. See, that stage is supposed to have some music playing in the background, but who knows why it didn't start playing. This version of Fmod is quite buggy, unfortunately. Foster did warn me that Harda 2 does have a few issues. Let's see if this works. If not, I'll continue on without the music, and I'll just add it in post. The only way I can think of fixing this is to restart my computer, but it's too late for that. Old games are the bad versions of Fmod. Yep, there's nothing I can do here, sadly. The music's gonna stay broken for the most part. I'll play through this game again on my own time, and then add in the music in post. So here's Hardat. We can jump and shoot, and in addition to that, we can actually guard from weaker shots. Only from weaker shots though, not the stronger shots. So for example, the Sniper Joe bullets I can deflect. More importantly though, enemies don't have iframes now. So now my pea shooter is not really weak. It's not the worst weapon in the game, unlike in Hardat 1. As you can see, I can deflect the shots. In general though, the UI is about the same. However, the fact that I can guard plus enemies not having iframes really makes this game a lot better by default. Not only I can guard, but I can... Also when I'm guarding, I'm essentially ducking, which has my hitbox. Which has my hitbox height. Even though the gameplay feel... Despite the gameplay feel of this game... Despite the gameplay feel of this game being better than 1, it feels glitchier in terms of the music. It feels buggier and sadly has the music bug. Once again, early version of Fmod. And Summerman's main gimmick Summerman's gimmick is essentially Shadowman's gimmick. And just like in the first game, enemies can drop extra lives and tanks. Can I even reach up there? Perhaps with S-Stars or Tornado Wind. No, I can actually reach there. No thanks. I'll just go straight for the end. It's eerie playing through these stages without music. Despite them being filled with enemies, it makes the stages feel kind of empty. Samurai Man's stage was relatively straightforward, and thankfully his stage didn't place any of the blackout gimmicks right next to Pit's. So the level designer is getting better. Good, the boss music's actually working. Trying to ninja me as well. At least I deal 1 damage to him per every pea shooter shot. That's already an improvement over the first game. Down he goes. Pretty simple to understand boss pattern. And I realized the reason why the game keeps lagging every so often is because it's waiting for Fmod to load up the next musical track to play. And by defeating him, I get Samurai Stars. And I can actually save my game this time instead of entering in a password. So every time a new musical track loads up, the game will essentially hang for a short while. Someone asked for Smoke Man, so I'll go after him next. Don't worry, in the LP version of this, I'll edit out all the sections where the game lags. Don't worry, in the LP version of this playthrough, I'll edit out or reduce the amount of time where the game hangs. And now the music is deciding to work. Not that I'm complaining. Let's try out the S-Stars. Wow, this is looking to be pretty powerful. It pierces through enemies, as well as being a triple shot. And I can have the 3 volleys on screen at a time. And it just one-shots the Sniper Joes too. Is this going to be the Metal Blade of the game? Great, the music's bugged again. Now it's only playing part of the MIDI track. I think this may also be a OS level incompatibility. It probably worked better on the older systems like Windows XP. I'm playing this game on Windows 7. It doesn't pierce through enemy shields, but it doesn't pierce through enemy guards, but it does pierce through lines of enemies. Not to mention it just tears through the jump bugs. I get the feeling that this game has a secret character of sorts. Judging by those one block wide tile gaps, and how easy they are to go through with hard hat. Halfway point. So far this game seems not that difficult. It's making me reconsider my choice of playing through this game on normal instead of difficult. Then again, this may all change during the Wily Castle stages, or rather the Dr. X Castle stages, or rather the Mr. X Castle stages. These stages are a lot more generous in terms of life pickups as well. The previous game never had this many lying around the world. The previous game never had this many lying around the world. Nor did it have pickups right in the boss arena. Nor did it have pickups right in the boss corridors. So let's see Smoke Man's tactics. He's really weak to the Shadow Blade. I mean Shadow Stars. Wow, he'd be a bit frustrating to beat using Buster. He'd be kind of frustrating to beat Buster only. But down he goes. And by defeating him, I get smoke screen. Does it make me invincible? Invisible? Who should I go after next then? Acid Man Beta, got it. And if you're wondering why I'm paying more attention to the game, it's because I can't see the game and chat at the same time. Let's try the smoke screen. Alright, it actually makes me invulnerable to enemies. That's really useful. What happens when I do this? Does it explode? Oh, just changes the acid. So it just changes the so it changes the acid from harmful to harmless. I suppose that'll be more useful later on in the stage. That was just introducing us to the gimmick. I didn't realize that the Shadow Stars can multi-hit the same enemy repeatedly. So this is where it's useful. Nice introduction of gimmicks first in a safer environment. The change off the handoff from zero to off is a bit more delayed than what you'd expect. What happens if you walk in the acid though? Is it instant death? I don't want to find out. You get so much ammo for the Shadow Stars. Wait a minute. So the acid is actually instant death. And I just wanted to showcase how you can stand on top of the Planman platforms like that. Where am I sent back to? Start of year, fair enough. I think smokescreen would be better here. So I don't get hit by all these projectiles. What am I getting hit by there? Well, I'm dead. I need to get used to the Planman platform delay again. It seems that, following my death, half the musical notes get cut off. It seems that after every time I die, half the musical notes get cut off. The Yamazis are a lot more aggressive compared to the Mega Man Classic series. See, I like how this stage is actually utilizing its gimmick, unlike most, if not all, the stages in Hard at 1. That was a strange screen transition. I just wish the Planman platforms were introduced a bit better. They don't act the same way as they do originally. Still certainly better than most stages in the predecessor. Let's see what your tactics are, Acid Man. You're also weak to the Shadow Stars. But you take extra damage from the Buster as well. Compared to your stage, you're disappointingly easy. You should not take double damage from the buster. You're not that difficult. Not plant platforms, the flipping platforms, sorry. Hard but sort of fair. And by defeating him I get the acid wave. Next up I'll go after Tornado Man. Next up I'll go after Tornado Man. That's an interesting design for propellers. Flame Stacks team? Fine with me. Let's try Acid Wave. So like the Water Wave, but we can activate it in midair. Kind of glitchy though. Note that the Lightning Lord's push effect does not take effect until you're close to them, close enough to them. The smoke screen is an awesome. The smoke screen is an awesome shield. It's essentially a better version of the Zap shield. Maybe not better, but a longer lasting one. Especially as it can fire back at enemies while it's on. Fans work a bit oddly in this engine, but you can get used to them fairly quickly. Sheesh game with your generosity. Oh no, this is where it gets a bit problematic. I don't think the smoke screen protects me against spikes. Easily the scariest part of the stage for me. Thank you for taking me to. Thank you for guiding me towards Samurai Man stage. The Shadow Stars are amazing. Better than all the weapons in the previous game and probably this game too. Though the smoke screen is no slouch either. Invulnerability and shooting on demand is always handy. Well, for this stage, I lose all the music once I die. and it's right before the start of this section. The checkpoint should have been after this section. At least this extra life always respawns, so I essentially have infinite tries to get through this. This time, I'll destroy the Lightning Lord before I pass. These stages are about as enemy spammy as the first game, but thanks to them not having iframes, it's not too bad. Time to face off against Tornado Man. He's immune against the Shadow Stars. Even fires storm tornadoes at us. Immune to the acid wave as well, so back to the regular shot. Dodging those storm tornadoes is gonna be the hardest part. It's alright, I wanted to learn his pattern first. When I edit back in the music, I'll probably edit back in the proper music. Also, it appears that these pickups respawn, so if you die enough times, you can refill the boss weaknesses. How do you even know where the tornadoes are gonna come up from? Or whether he's gonna do his horizontal attack or vertical attack. Well, you can tell the difference between horizontal and vertical, but he can't tell where the tornadoes are gonna come from below. So the best weapon to use against him is essentially the smoke screen. The problem I have with this boss fight is that one of its major attacks doesn't have good telegraphing. Hi, Buster. Is this better than Hearted 1? In terms of gameplay, yes. In terms of music, no, because it keeps breaking. I think the early version of Fmod they're using here is not completely compatible with Windows 7. And by defeating Tornado Man, I get the Tornado Wind and Jet Sled, so essentially item 2. Who should I go after next? As per Panda, Jethawk, and Metal General, I'm going after Blazeman. And I wish this game made up its mind as well when it decides to play the music or not. For the first time I decided to play the boss select music. Let's try out the Tornado Wind. So essentially the Storm Tornado. Takes a lot of weapon energy to use relative to other weapons, but seems fairly powerful. Does the oil fires disignite? I guess not. And it's probably also instant death. All I can say is that Hearted 2 is much less frustrating and better balanced compared to Hearted 1. Enemies not having iframes is a huge improvement. The weapon balance is still a bit off. See the Shadow Stars being extremely powerful. How do I even get up there? Guess I need a different weapon. Thanks, game. I do like the idea of those flammable canisters that you can. I do like the idea of those flammable canisters. They open up the possibility of some nice risk versus reward. They open up several possibilities of several risk versus reward scenarios, which this game isn't really utilizing outside of one area. No thanks, I don't want to die today. Sadly, the acid wave is bugged a bit. More than a bit. I guess you're a cameo then. Can I blow this up? No, I need the sea missile first. Instead I get an E-tank. I'm really thankful that this game still maintains its gamepad support. That already puts it above many other fan games at the time. And the MIDI music when it decides to play, in general, is better than the MIDI music in the predecessor. And already all the MIDI tracks when they decide to play are better than the ones in Hearted 1. But oh, this is gonna be fun to edit. especially with all the lag, especially with all the times the game decides to hang, just before it decides to play, just before Fmod decides to play the music, or not. The game doesn't need to be this generous. Then again, this game has a difficult mode which cuts down on the generosity. I probably should have played on that mode instead. Then again, I may come to regret those words once I get to the Dr. X stages. I mean Mr. X, not Dr. X. The count bombs igniting the oil is also an interesting idea. It'd probably be better utilized in Mega Man Maker though. So Blaze Man stage was middle of the road in terms of difficulty. Nah, it's alright, it's just tongue twist. Another boss that's weak to the Shadow Stars. But his actual weakness is the Acid Wave. Makes sense as it's a liquid-based weapon. And by defeating Blaze Man, I get Blaze Fire. Seems like a regular old horizontal firing weapon. Who should I go after next? Baseball Man it is. I'll do baseball, then I'll do chainsaw. And note it down, Buster. Whoa, ambush our enemies. And charge this up. Seems decently powerful, but I have the Shadow Stars, which just pierces through enemies and can multi-hit them, so why bother using this? It's not powerful enough and you can't charge it, plus it uses too much weapon energy to justify using it relative to other weapons. And when I first heard this music, at first I'd say it would be out of place, but in retrospect, it does work for a ballpark stage. And yes, I know this is Top Man's graphics. And is it just me? Okay, that's strange. Hardak climbs up ladders faster than climbs down ladders. At least that's how it looks to me visually. It may be just my imagination talking though. I didn't expect these springs to be that strong. I wasn't even holding down the jump button. Doesn't even pierce their enemy guards. I'll probably only use the Blaze Fire for boss weaknesses. Or when I run out of Shadow Star energy. It feels even the Pea Shooter is better than that. It feels that even the Pea Shooter is better than that. At least the music didn't break after I died. That happened to most other stages. Seriously, that strong? I need to jump over 3 rows of springs then. Or just use the jet slide. Or just use the jet sled, which I will do next time. And there's no way to change the jump height. Should have used them earlier. I'd prefer if the game forced you to use the springs before placing them under spikes, so players can get used to their strength. Frankly, the Shadow Stars do Tornado Wind's job a lot better, but that's just me. And I'm back over here. This time we'll use the jet sled. Why hello there, Fortress Boss. This looks like a job for the Storm Tornado. Case in point. I don't want to go for the extra life, it'll probably result in my death. So instead, I'll just move on to the next part of the stage. I just want to repeat my earlier statement that the Smoke Shield is one of the best shields in the Mega Man fan game history. Instant invulnerability for several seconds, and you can fire at the same time. These sorts of jumps. I think I can make it normally, but it's risky. Instead, I'll just use the jet sled again. Extra life is actually over here. Sure, let's go for the extra life then. If I can damage boost. Storm Tornado just tears through them. So it does have some uses. Just that time. Oh, whoa. When riding on top of the jet sled, it actually preserves your momentum. I almost made it to the end, but slammed against the wall. Well, I landed on top of the platform, but couldn't make it across. Still making progress, though. I totally didn't expect that to maintain momentum. That's definitely a highlight I'll leave in. This is becoming the hardest stage of the game, mainly because of the challenges here. See, this time I didn't have inertia, so I'm not sure what happened. I guess that was a glitch then? Made it to Baseball Man. Only have one spare life though, so I gotta make it count. I didn't mean to press M there. Wish these games had a dead zone modifier. Alright, boss time, and no music. Let's try weaknesses. So he's weak to the blaze fire. Makes sense as it burns him. Burns out his outfit. The answer to your question, YouTube, is the early version of Fmod not being completely compatible with Windows 7 or Windows 10. And you're right, Panta. I jumped during the last time. And by defeating Baseball Man, I get the baseball boomerang. I'll be right back in a moment. And I'm back. One person asked for Chainsaw Man, so I'll go after him next. His design kinda reminds me of Gravity Man, but with more chainsaws attached to him. Right now my feelings on this game are mixed. It simultaneously flows better than the original, but flows worse as well, because of all the gaps in the music, because of all the time the game decides to hang, or decides to freeze up for a moment to wait for the soundtrack to start playing. Hopefully that's resolved in 3 and 4, although 3 and 4 from what I've heard have their own issues. Fairly strong, but I'd rather just use the Shadow Stars. And the MIDI tracks aren't as painful to listen to, though I wish Baseball Man's team was less repetitive. That was way too repetitive. Didn't have enough variation in the composition. That would work better for a stage that's only 30 seconds long, but for one that's several minutes long, no. Come back, platform, I need you. Are the spikes on the sides instant death? Or are they just cosmetic? I hope it's the latter. If there's one pickup this game isn't as generous on dropping as compared with the other ones, it's extra lives. What was the point of those lower platforms then? I have more than enough E-tanks to last throughout the game. What I really need is more lives. Thank you, game. I'd like at least 5 more of them. The next game I'll play on this stream won't have this lives problem. Yoku blocks, I guess? Or I just jumped down. That was a close one. Should have put a screen transition there. I keep getting the feeling that this stage is also designed for a character who's 2 blocks high. And I can carry more than 9 E-tanks at a time. Probably the max is 99. Not that I'll need all of them. I would rather have 99 lives over 99 E-tanks. Very straightforward level, all things considered. One of the easiest ones. Let's test out weaknesses. Frankly, this stage feels more appropriate for a Samurai Man. Also rather weak to the Shadow Blade. Maybe not rather weak, but semi-weak. immune to the tornado wind, so I got the weakness there backwards. So I guess his weakness is either Shadow Stars or B-Boomerang, or the explosive weapon that I don't have yet. Down he goes. Indeed, Day in the Limelight 2 massively improves over its predecessor. And by defeating Chainsaw Man, I get the Chain Missile. I hope it's homing. So last but not least is Wireman. His design kinda reminds me of Wire Sponge from X2. Sparkman's level. No music, sadly. Sadly, it only fires forwards, but it explodes upon contact with an enemy or wall. But uses a lot of weapon energy per use. Actually, you know what? In order to preserve how this livestream went, I won't re-add in back in the music. Just to show how glitchy the game is on the music front. Thankfully this was fixed for 3 and 4. At least I hope. Alright, let's do a poll. Do you want, in the LP version of this, which I'll release in a few weeks, do you want me to add soundtracks to the game where there's no soundtrack playing, so you don't just hear dead silence other than sound effects playing? Or do you want me to keep this playthrough as is and not replace the musical tracks which are not playing? The latter will be much easier on me, but I can still do the former. It shouldn't be too difficult. And if I do musical track replacements, they'll be of the original soundtracks, not MIDI files, NSF files. Oh, I dislike those sorts of tight jumps. There are always things that can go wrong, especially with these looser engines. Or if you don't have access to slide jumping. It's not as bad here due to edge detection being a bit more generous, but still. Also because the spikes are a lot more precise in terms of the hitboxes. They're not square spikes. Square hitbox spikes, that is. When ends, I didn't expect them to come out of the pipes. So they're like piranha plants from Mario in that sense. Should have just used a jet sled. Well, at least the checkpoint was right over here. Darn, I could have gotten those Z-tanks, but I don't really need them. Sure, let's get them now. Why not? Actually I can't reach them that way, so... Back to the main pad. I have plenty of energy tanks to spare anyways. Thanks for the damage boost, Alekin. Enemies aren't as damaging as I initially expected them to be. It feels like I always have some armor equipped. For a stage called Wireman, it didn't really have that much wires. So let's see what his tactics are. He isn't weak to that at the very least. He is weak to the missiles. And has a secondary weakness to the acid wave. So that marks the end of the 8 Roadmasters. I wish I could just aim the chainsaw, Daibuman, then I'd like it more. At the very least, the smoke shield is as good as the samurai blades, in the sense that it makes me immune to all enemies. And by defeating Wireman, I gain his weapon, the wire missiles. Time to go through Mr. X's stages. I see one vote for adding music. Any votes against? Keeping it as is, just like in the live stream? Remember, if I add in music in post, it'll be of the NES soundtrack, not MIDI's. Is it just me, or did we go through a familiar stage like this in Hard at 1? Yes, we did, but going from right to left. Let's try the Wire Crush. slightly bobs up and down, but it explodes upon contact. Right now it seems like a better version of the Crush missile. I want to give all weapons their time to shine, but for some of them it's much harder than others. Like, why can't I aim the boomerangs upwards? I don't actually have access to any upwards firing weapons in the game. The closest equivalent would probably be the Samurai Stars, but even then, it only fires upwards at an angle. Weapon mounts is probably as bad as Hard at 1, I'd say. Unlike Hard at 1 though, at the very least all the weapons are somewhat useful. We don't have stuff like the Atomic Fire, which was basically useless outside of weakness affiliations. So it's that time now. For a moment there I was worried the game froze or something. I don't recognize this boss, so we have some unique bosses. So its weakness is actually its red crystal, I guess? What could it be weak to? That deals a nice amount of damage per hit. Might as well give it a time to shine, as I'll barely use it otherwise. Blue Taco Trash, got it. Yeah, I will play Mega Man Nightshade in the future. In general, it feels that all stages in this game have a lower difficulty curve compared to Hard at 1. Although it's because this game has better level design. And also because enemies aren't as damaging as you'd expect them to be, and I'm tearing through them so much faster. And more importantly, none of them have iframes. Boss iframes, I mean. The guard isn't as useful as I expected it to be. Not enough enemies fire projectiles to justify using it. For instance, the Apache Joes used to be really deadly, but now, because they don't have iframes, they're a cinch to defeat. Not sure what happened there. I clipped right through the terrain. And after every time I die, all the tanks and pickups respawn. So I can easily farm up if I so desire, but I don't need to. I have plenty of E and M tanks to spare. Too many, to be frank. I wish I could trade some of them for extra lives. Pro level design. Just walking back and forth. I'd rather just save up the weapon energy than waste it. They don't deal enough damage to justify using weapons. And I already regained all of it here. Oh no, don't tell me we have invisible platforms now. Not invisible platforms, the opposite. Invisible holes. Or fake blocks. There was no indication that was going to happen there. Even the first game had a decency to telegraph when it was coming. Now I'm just gonna use a jet slide over all of these platforms. Better safe than sorry and all that. Should have known. See, I would have preferred if that was the introduction. I think I can reach it. Yes, I can. I don't even know where the hole is here. Outside of using weapons. Well, you can use the acid wave, but there needs to be a better telegraph. Not over an instant death pit. Another reason why I don't like to use it, it glitches out rather easily. Hi, Matra. Your big hitbox makes you really easy to hit. You're even easier than the previous fortress boss, all things considered. At least for there, you have to focus on hitting the red gem, or red orb. But here, your entire body is weak to my shots. That was disappointingly easy. Even your attacks weren't that dangerous. Well, that was a downgrade from the first stage. Free extra life, but that makes me a bit worried. As well as the tank. Again with this game's exceeding generosity. Of course, that's only because this is on normal mode, probably. Is this another case like in Mega Man 2, where normal mode is essentially easy mode, and difficult mode is Japan's normal mode? I'm starting to think that's the case. Otherwise, the game shouldn't be this generous. And so far, nothing the game has pulled out has been rather difficult, outside of some sections in Acid Man stage and Baseball Man stage. and Tornado Man stage. Only 3 stages though. So I should have started the game on difficult in the first place. Buster did warn me not to play on the hard difficulty settings of hard at 3. Because it's much more difficult, so we'll see about that. Sorry, I'm so paranoid there are actually holes in the floor. There probably aren't, but better safe than sorry. Seems like the music is kind of giving up. A low-energy remix of Mega Man 3 Wily 2 team. With all the master tanks I have, I can basically pacifist run the entire fortress from here on out by continuously using the smoke shield. Oh no, I need to go to the other side too. This looks like a job for a jet sled. One of the best utilities in the game. Well, the only one, but it surpasses several weapons in the game too. Well, hello there, Gamma. Didn't expect you here. Of all the bosses, I thought it'd be someone else. I guess you're weak to baseball bats, then. No second phase? That's disappointing. I'll test it out, Jedok. He may in fact be weak to his own weapon. 300 bosses are weak to the Samurai Blades anyways. Looking to be the rematch stage. Why is the teleporter to the left though? What's with the empty gap in the wall to the right? This surely looks like a secret. I think there's an extra teleporter here if you're playing this on difficult mode. Otherwise I see no reason to put it there. Another reason why I should have played this on difficult mode, but what is done is done. Boss rematch times. Oh great, every time I enter and exit one of these rooms, the game is gonna freeze up a bit. He is semi-weak to his own weapon, but that's not his weakness, I guess. I guess it'd be the smoke screen? I keep calling it the smoke shield. So he's actually weak to the wire crush. I thought a different boss was weak to it. Well, we essentially have mini Sonic 06 loading. Reminds me of the loading in the boss rematch stage. Reminds me of the loading in the boss rematch stage of Mega Man X7. Not as bad as that, but still. So acid. I guess Shadow Stars then? I used everything else and they seem about as effective as it should be, other than Tornado Wind. Perhaps that's it because it multi-hits them. Tornado Man. I never found— oh, he's actually healed by the Samurai Blades. He's weak to the baseball bat. Excuse me. This is easily one of the worst aspects of Hardhead 2. In Hardhead 1 we didn't have this much delay between the boss battles. This just wrecks the flow and all that. Smoke Man, fire? Where there's smoke, there's fire? Nope. Maybe this? It blows away his disguise? Yeah, it does. That's a semi-logical weakness. He just gets destroyed by it. The wind blows away his smoke. Baseball Man, I remember you. I remember you're weak to the blaze fire. At the very least, 3 or 4 of the weaknesses do make sense. So that's saying something. And I do give credit to the game for actually having unique Roadmasters. Not that most of them are good. And a few of the weapons are pretty fun to use. Not sure why Blaze Man is weak to the Samurai Stars. No wait, he's supposed to be weak to the Acid Wave. Guess he has double weaknesses then. Chain Man, or Chainsaw Man. The acid melts away his chainsaws. And that marks the end of the 8 Roadmasters. Who's next? Nope, that's it. On to the final stage. Thanks, Leslie. Even more generosity, but I have plenty to spare. Probably the amount of generosity is cut in half for hard mode, which yet again I should have played. My final impressions are that difficult mode of this game is equivalent to difficult mode on Mega Man 2 US on the Mega Man 2 US edition. On the Mega Man 2 US version. Hi there, Mr. X, in your capsule machine, I guess? He's immune against the Buster, so time to test our weaknesses. I get the feeling that Mr. X is actually Dr. Light in disguise. I doubt that we killed him in the last game. So weak to the baseball bat. Really weak to it. Phase 2. Now he's mad. Now weak to the acid wave. Second phase destroyed. Is that it? This can't be it. This can't be it. This is it? That was very anticlimactic. Especially as you're forced to use weapons against them. It shouldn't be that easy. There should have been a third phase and whatnot. Me too, Hardat. I thought this would be much harder as well. Once again, I should have done that. Perhaps I'll play through the game again in a non-commentated version on difficult mode. So here are my overall thoughts on Hardat 2. In some ways it's an improvement over the predecessor, in some ways it's a downgrade. I think it's still an overall upgrade in terms of gameplay and weapons being fun to use, but the downgrades are quite notable. For example, the music decides to not play more than half the time. Like, the credits theme is supposed to be played here, but it's not. The reason being, I believe, is because the early version of Fmod being used here, which isn't supported exactly by Windows 7. And I will play Mega Man's Paradise in the future. That's also rather interesting. Another issue with this version of Fmod is that just before the music plays in every stage or any transition, the game freezes for a bit. And it freezes for several seconds before it continues on, and the music may not even start playing in the end. So that really destroys the flow of the game, which wasn't present in the predecessor. So, would I recommend this game? Not really. If you want to play a harder game, play the fourth one in the series. That's the one at the very least decent and has the best level design, music, etc., and the least number of bugs. I did enjoy myself, but it kinda felt rompy. Well then, I hope you enjoyed my Let's Play of Harder 2 War Ensemble, viewers. If you enjoyed it, please rate, favorite, comment, and or subscribe, as they all help out the channel. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter as well as join my new Discord server, as I regularly post updates there. Well then, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in future Let's Play. Alright, short break and I move on to the next one. Going to be starting really soon. The strange thing is that because of the lack of music, it made this experience feel kind of hollow. Especially relative to, for example, Mega Man OP1. Even though that was also a bad Mega Man fan game, the fact that music made the experience feel somewhat fulfilling. They really should rename the difficulty options then. This was easy mode. Like Mega Man 2's easy mode. Then again, Mega Man 2 called easy normal, so... Anyways, on to a maybe better fan game. At least for this one, we'll always hear music. Unless something else decides to break and blow up. I think I also made a mistake with calling Fmod out. I'm not sure what musical system the game harder to use. That also explains why I didn't take much damage from most enemies. Did you follow the link, YouTube? I provided a link in the description below. Ah, that's strange. Ah, that's nice. That's nice, Daibuman. Let's see. Alright, this game doesn't support gamepad. Back to keyboard then. Easy, normal, or hard? Let's go with normal. First question, do you want me to play the game on normal or hard? Oh, RAR files? Yeah, download that too. That's where the game is stored in a RAR file. Or compressed that way. Hard it is. I'll play it on infinite lives though, just to be safe. Let's watch the intro first. In the year 2000X, a super robot named Mega Man was created. Dr. Light created Mega Man to stop the evil desires of Dr. Wily. However, Mega Man has disappeared and Dr. Wily has returned again. Greetings everyone, my name is Atterville, and I welcome you all to my blind live let's play of Mega Man Day in the Limelight, a Mega Man classic fan game developed by Fusion Gameworks. This will be an interesting title, as in this game, you play as each Roadmaster from Mega Man 1. So who should I go after first? I mean, who should I play as first? Iceman it is. So for every Roadmaster you play as, you fight a Roadmaster from Mega Man 2. This setup kinda reminds me of Super Dandy 1 and 2, but instead of fusing with the Roadmasters, you play as the Roadmasters. Iceman still has his modified physics too. Wish this game had a 2x resolution option. I know it'll be better. I already watched some gameplay footage of that. I'm starting to think I should have played on normal mode. Look at the amount of damage I'm taking. The Yoko Block timings are off from the original, from the classic series. Actually, just for safety, give me a moment, please. Hang on a minute. I'm gonna be playing the game on normal. I'm gonna change difficulty setting to normal. I'm a bit worried about the Wily Fortress stages because there is one boss battle in particular which is gonna be a pain to do. Someone warned me about that in advance. For those watching the LP version, I just turned down the difficulty from hard to normal, as there's a certain boss battle later on in the game people have warned me about. And it seems that I take extra damage, and I think I take extra damage if I play on hard mode. And I think I take extra damage if I play on hard mode. Let's see. Yep, I take double damage. Yep, I did take double damage in hard mode. Also, there used to be a lava pit over here, so even the level design is changed up. This is a lot more fair. You can even freeze up the lava. If you're a first-time player of this game, like I am, I think it's a better option to play on normal first. Unlike Hard at 2 is normal, this is actually normal. Seems we can even transition upwards. I will eventually play a day in the Limelight 2 in the future. I can't guarantee if that zip file is safe though. Here we go, Yoko Block train section. Hello? Oh, I see. Silly me, I forgot about Iceman's freezing properties. So far the level design is okay, especially on normal, particularly on normal mode. Oh, that's different. I didn't think we'd have lava waterfalls like this. Oh, that's different. I didn't expect to have lava falls like that. Or lava geysers. As well as acid droppers. But they don't stay frozen forever. We can even freeze some enemies to death. Freeze them as statues, essentially. Sadly, they don't drop any pickups when we do so. Yeah, what is GOC? I sure hope this is a checkpoint. Or next to one. Oh no, don't tell me. It is. Going to be one of the slower sections of this stage. I'm gonna take a deliberate death here because I'm too low on health. Checkpoint was right over here, that's good. At least that hothead can't hit me from here. What? Oh, I guess I hit the geyser before it froze. Good thing I have infinite lives, otherwise this would be so much more frustrating. It's goofy, but it works. I don't like the placement of this enemy at all. It should be it should be higher. Or if there was a way I could actually destroy them. I'll do Bomb Man next. Way I can jump through the platform? Wait, I can jump through the platform? No, I can't. It's solid. See, the other problem is getting up there, but... See, this one enemy placement is not good. That was my bad. And I get frozen in place, and I get frozen and knocked back when I get hit by it. See, this is what I was trying to do all this time. See, even these enemies are much easier to deal with. Whoops. Slip right through. Whoops. Slip right through. The controls of this game are a bit stiff. to correct myself, also for future editing. Wow, Iceman isn't as maneuverable as he seems. I thought I could fit in right through the hole. This is probably not a good level to start out with. Can't fit in, it's too high. Again with the physics and stiff controls. Still better than the bottom part of the section. I'll say it again, this section suffers from a reverse difficulty curve. Also because the Ice Slasher has slow movement. Relatively slow movement. Hope this works. No, not quite high enough. And now I get and then I can just get shunted off. I know. This is essentially his Ice Slasher from his own boss battle. Maybe this is good? But I need to fit in. Okay, I fit in. I'm almost at the end. This will be edited down in post, for sure. Nonetheless, it's going to be much easier to edit compared to Hard Hat 2, as that was missing so much music. Now, if you were playing this game without infinite lives, well, just imagine how much more frustrating it would be to game over here. It's alright, I wanted to die first anyways. Compared to his stage, Heat Man is so much easier. Now just imagine how much more brutal the Lava Geyser section would be on hard mode. So, Bombman's next. Bombman versus Quickman. Oh no. And I can't slide either. Of all the bosses, why Quickman? I would think it'd be Electman versus Quickman, not Bombman versus him. Get ready for force beams. Get ready for a lot of death. At least the enemies pose no problems now. Oh hey, the laser beams from Force Man stage. The blue ones, I mean. At least the Hyper Bomb's useful for once. It detonates on contact with the walls. Ran right into that. At least the checkpoint is in a good location. Of all the bosses to face as Bomb Man, you would tend to be Crash Man. After all, they're both Bomb-type Roadmasters. Thank you for the warning signals on the ground. Slow and steady wins the race. Next section. Surprisingly enough, this was easier than the first one. That makes sense, Buster. So Quickman is weak to the Hyper Bomb. I would think they just match the Roadmaster types as much as possible. And that's it. Remember, this stage is much harder in hard mode. Probably the lasers will be even deadlier. I expected to die a lot more often, but Iceman stage ended up being harder. Now let's see how many times I end up dying to Quickman. That's one. At least Quickman is appropriately hard, unlike Heatman. And there's no way I can arc my bomb shots either. Down he goes. Quickman stage was better balanced compared to Heatman stage for sure. Much less frustrating. And a lot less waiting involved, ironically. Who should I go after next? Guts it is. Guts is going after Crash Man. I would think that Gutsman would be weak to Crash Man. Oh. Alright then, Gutsman can only move by jumping. He can't walk. This is what happens when I try walking. And he attacks by dropping a boulder from above and picking it up. So like powered up. And throwing it at them. Oh, this is gonna be a problem, as the boulder takes some time to reach me. At least the boulder spreads into smaller chunks when it hits an enemy. And the boulder does damage enemies if it comes into contact with them. When it's falling, that is. These enemies, especially the mats, I can't just quickly shoot at them. This attack is not as good as the power. This attack is not as good as spawning the blocks in powered up. Feels like a downgrade, all things considered. Knockback is that strong? Wow. For a character like Gutsman, you would think he'd take half the amount of knockback. Nope, I can't swap characters in this game. That feature is added in Day of the Limelight 2. Mats are easily the most dangerous enemy to deal with Gutsman. Ironic, I know. Falls harder, yes, but he shouldn't have this much knockback. These platforms are sawed from below, too. I much prefer Mega Man World 2's version of Clash Man stage. I know, right, Game Idea Guy? He can only jump, so he should at least have some sort of super armor. Or half knockback. Now I would understand if I was playing as Gutsman, then that's justified for having more knockback. He has one of the lightest alloy. He has the lightest armor out of the bunch. Just watch the Gutsman's dance. But he walks in powered up. Oh no. I'm almost dead too. How did I survive that? Exactly. I mean, that's where you get the super armor from usually. Before Battle Network 4, I guess. Hippies. Checkpoint, good. And they don't drop pickups as much as I would hope they would do. Well, at least I made it to the end. I'm happy. This stage was still easier than Iceman's. A lot less waiting around. Oh, you don't? I thought you do. Oh, I may be misremembering and confusing it with Star Force. My bad. From Tara's Fire. Uh-oh. This may... or not. Roast rats. Drop the rocks from the heavens. Oh, that's what I confused it with, gut style. Definitely Jedhawk. At least the sequel of this game fixed that problem. Who is next? Elect Man it is. Elect Man's going after Metal Man. Then I'll go after Fireman and end off with Cuts Man. So I charge up generators. Sadly no E-Tank down there. Or Crushers. Well, here are the Crushers. So even in this game, the top parts are dangerous. The chains, I mean. But I have to use this. But I have to use the splitting properties of my Elect Shock so it actually hits the generators. Wow, that's funny. It doesn't harm them, but it allows me to go harmlessly through them. Here comes the moles. Although this section is pretty easy because the Thunder Beam splits all over the place now. Knew that was gonna happen once. Checkpoint placement of this game is on the more generous side, for the most part. This sort of jump really looks built for slide jumping. True, I didn't see how generous hard is. I decided to nope out of it after going through that one challenge. The two Yoku blocks alternating over a lava pit. Now that's neat. But the generator degrades over time too. I didn't even activate the middle generator and the door opened. Aren't these the chainsaw blades from Super Mario World? Hopefully they're not instant death. So they are from Super Mario World. They're not instant death, good. I wish more stages had gimmicks like this. I wouldn't mind the lava geyser as much if it wasn't so precise, or require as much waiting. This felt like one of the more balanced stages. Let's see what tricks Metal Man has up his sleeves. You're not supposed to jump like that and defy gravity. And now you're back to your regular old pattern. What happened? I'm confused on his pattern. Originally he had a very different pattern, but then he transitioned over to his old Mega Man 2 pattern. Next up is Fireman, who's going after Airman. I would think that Airman would be strong against Fireman, because it blows out his flames. So we have access to the Fire Wave, which burns enemies alive. Burns everything alive, it seems. Oh. Wish there was a better indication of that. At first I thought I needed to go down there. And that was just me being impatient. Alright, this time it was here. I guess the global timer wasn't reset. I thought I was standing right on top of it and would land there. Guess the hitbox is smaller than it actually looks. Welcome back, Daibuman. I'm currently going through Airman stage as Fireman. And already died 3 times. Well, okay, I thought I was going off screen for a moment. What's this thing do? Raise clouds when set afire. Oh no, Pippies. Sadly, when I light enemies on fire, they don't seem to drop any pickups. Never mind, scratch that. Thank you for demonstrating that, Pippi. Sadly, just one Pippi will eat up my fire wave shot. And that counts as solid 2. Well, knew that was gonna happen once. Again, hitboxes. Looks a bit bigger than it actually is. I wish my fire waves just tore through the small Pippies. Otherwise, it makes them much more dangerous than they initially were. And yes, the world does glitch out whenever I pick up something. It seems that some of the objects just disappear for a moment. It's as if they're on the same layer as the pickup, so they temporarily dissipate. Be gone, Pippies. And Schwarms. Drills too? What is this, Drillman stage? Now imagine how much more challenging this is on hard mode. Can't reach. Really? And I can't even hit the lightning lords from here. Gonna have to wait again. Or not. Or again. Thank you, gremlins. PPs are also good for weapon farming. In games where you can actually hit them multiple times. Or where your shots just cleave through multiple of them at once. I know, level design is much better in the sequel. The game designers learned how to make better levels then. I have a similar problem with Iceman stage, well, technically Heatman stage, There's too much waiting around. This is still better than that stage for sure though. The first fan fiend in the stage. I would have expected to see them sooner. Well, thank you, jerkish placement. But thank you, drops. Compared with Hard Hat 2, this game is a lot more stingy. Then again, Hard Hat 2 was very generous. Welcome to the stream, Eduardo. Glad you could make it. I'm currently going through Mega Man Day in the Limelight. A game where you play as the Roadmasters from Mega Man... A game where you play as the 6 Roadmasters from Mega Man 1, going through the stages of Mega Man 2. Modified versions, that is. No E-tanks in this game, sadly. To be fair, Pippies came before the Tellys, so that's what I'm saying. Plus they respawn faster than Tellys. But of course they work better in games which have better level design and controls. Oh no, he's gonna try blowing me off the cloud, isn't he? Oh, yep. That's what I was worried about, the shift. Where am I taken to? The start of here, good. I was worried it's gonna be taken way far back. Yeah, Day in the Limelight, Eduardo. The sequel is much better. This set the stage for a lot of the ideas in the sequels, but its level design is subpar in quite a few respects. Reminds me of Super Danny 1 and 2. Here we go again. See what I mean? Stiff controls. I don't like this last part of the stage. Especially because the cloud graphics don't match up with the hitbox. Same issues with Iceman. It's alright, Buster. I'll be posting the VOD of yesterday evening stream in a few hours. I really like your Devil Takeover stages, especially Mistletoe Man. Harder than usual, but not too difficult. Mistletoe Man was a bit harder than usual, but the air stage, oof, that was much harder than I expected. And please spam the flower presenters less in the second half of the stage. Take 3. And lo and behold, this was in fact the end of the stage. What tricks do you have up your sleeves? What happens if I shoot at the tornadoes like this? Does anything bad happen? Other than me dying, of course. So I can't cheese it as much as I thought I would. Move faster and hit harder, but I do need to shoot through them if I want to hit Airman. This stage is down there with Icemans. Too much waiting around, especially in the second half. Cutman against Woodman, as his scissors are supposed to be designed to cut down wood. But he has the rolling cutter, so... which just saws enemies in half, like the Slash Claw. Of all the weapons, this is going to be one of the more awkward to use. Along with... up there with the boulder, that is. And I can't quickly return it back to me by using the pause menu. But I can use it to cut down these wood piles, I guess. And I have to cross this gap. I wish this was stronger. And Daibuman's right, what happens to them? Are we gonna face off against them in the fortress stages? I mean, where else would they be? Perhaps the secret bosses or something else? Welp, I got thrown off by his delay. I thought he was gonna immediately start firing at me. Now this works. I can just tree shot him, essentially. Oops, if I did this in a different order, I could reach it. "12 levels? I thought there'd only be 8 or 9. Well, not 8 or 9, 10 or 11, I mean. Probably a checkpoint room. That brings up another interesting question. Do I get a choice of which Roadmaster to play as when I go through the Wily Fortress stages? The Mon Kings as well. Dealing with them with the Mega Buster is already rather difficult. With the Rolling Cutter... seriously? Frankly, out of all the 6 Roadmasters, Cutman is the weakest weapon. At least it 4-shots the Mon Kings. So I can also drop these platforms by cutting them. Thank you for falling into a pit. I didn't expect him to turn that fast. Well, thank you, game's generous checkpoints. Even Super Danny's Cutman was better. Thank you for all the life pickups, wish there were in more stages. I know I'm being really critical of this game, because the level design has a bunch of issues. But thankfully most of them are fixed and resolved and improved in the sequel. Atomic chickens. Well, atomic roosters, but you get the idea. Only had to deal with 3 of them. Little comforts, but they help. Let's see if Woodman has any new tricks up his sleeves. Wait, he has steel feathers and normal feathers. And I can't dodge the leaves unless I use the rolling cutter too. Surprisingly done in one life. Compared to his stage, Woodman is much easier. Similar to Heatman and Iceman. I mean, similar to Iceman versus Heatman. Onto the Wily Castle then. What's to the right though? Oh, boss replays. That's neat. So we don't get the choice of Roadmaster to play as in these Fortress levels. It's decided for us. For this first one, we're playing as Cutman. Will I be able to finish this game in the next 20 or 30 minutes? Let's see. Most of these games wouldn't expect there to be a boss replay, or even the choice to go through each of the individual Wily Fortress stages again. So props for adding that. Alright. That was strange, I couldn't grab the ladder for a second. Four shot to Sniper Joe's. That seems fair. What didn't seem fair, I didn't think I'd land up there. Again, I can't grab the ladder for some reason. Most dangerous enemy in the game. These look like bear traps. Oh, and they do snap. They don't damage me, it seems. And he got me, of course. Thank you for putting the checkpoint right over here. Again, it seems hard to grab ladders as Cutman for some reason. It feels really stiff. And I have to be right on the hitbox. Mega Dragon's coming. I recognize these blocks. Vertical Mega Dragon. The only time I've seen this before was in Mega Man 2.5D. Well, that's certainly different. But the amount of damage Cutman deals to him, that's gonna be a problem. I should just jump across the blocks. Oh. That was an epic fail. Hey, I do like the idea behind it, but I think this would work better as Mega Man. Or any of the other characters. Even Gutsman would be better at this. I feel this is a significant difficulty spike. Cutman isn't built to deal with this. Again, with the knockback and high damage, I'm more annoyed at the former, and how long it takes for you to regain control. Alright, he can't climb ladders, but he can jump between the platforms. Again with hitboxes. Well, that's my bad. Does this game save your progress, by the way? I may need to end off the stream soon. Yeah, this is not becoming fun. I like the idea of this boss battle, I just don't like the character I play as to defeat him. I'm gonna repeat the question. Does the game save your progress once you close and reopen it? It's over, after 10 or so failures. Save manually? How do I save manually? So Wily boss replays, character replays. On to Wily 2. And I can just skip the intros, I should have done that earlier. Wow, you can even freeze these in place. Alright. So freezing them makes the chains harmless. So shooting them enough times will drop them. More Mon Kings. At least I can properly deal with them now. Should have lowered it. Moles. I can immediately shatter them. That's not what I wanted to do there. Wish we had more of these Roadmaster weapon. Wish we had more of these weapon interactions in the classic series. Weapon environment interactions, I mean. Pico Pico Devil. Iceman is fairly strong, but the thing I find most annoying is his stage more than his character. His gameplay is fine to me. Also, this version of the Pico Pico Devil or Pico Pico Con is better. Because you have more time to react to when the because you have more time to react to where the blocks are coming, thanks to the bigger room. And there's more variation in the design too. These actually damage you can't stand on top of them. 2 of them at once now. I'm not gonna win this. I'm probably gonna end up dying to the last one. Oh, here comes the last one. See what I mean? Couldn't button mash fast enough. I wish I had more life there. Now I know exactly what to do. I like this more than the original Pico Pico Con though. More variation and more time to react to everything. Indeed, taunt and variation. It's not like the successful ones just get faster, like in the original. Frankly, I feel the Wily Fortress stages are the best ones in the game. That last one is more durable than it seems. Then again, it is icy colored. That's my alarm going off. Sorry, Devilman. Well, I'll have to end off the stream now. It's getting late for me. Thanks to everyone who attended. During the next week's stream, I'll finish the rest of Day in the Limelight, play one more fan game, and then play a fan game I've been prepping for quite a while. Something most other fan game players don't usually take a look at or know that exists. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I may run an extra stream tonight, but we'll see. Toodles!